In the hustle and bustle of our modern lives, it's easy to get caught up in the fast-paced rhythm of instant gratification. But amidst the noise and chaos, there's a timeless truth that beckons us to pause and listen, waiting on God's timing. The prophet Isaiah wrote many years ago in chapter 64 and verse 4, "Since ancient times no one has heard, no ear has perceived, no eye has seen any God besides you, who acts on behalf of those who wait for him." Picture this. God, the ultimate architect of the universe, loves us deeply and promises to provide for our needs. But here's the catch. He doesn't hand out our heart's desires like a vending machine. Why? Because he knows that if he did, we might start treating him like a cosmic wish fulfillment service, pushing him aside until we need something else. Moreover, what we ask for isn't always what's best for us or in line with his grand design. So, sometimes we have to wait, trusting that his timing is perfect and his delays are acts of love, not neglect. So let's break it down in today's terms. Firstly, setting the stage. Just like a director preps a scene before the big reveal, God works behind the scenes to set up the perfect circumstances for his plans to unfold. Waiting shows that we value his timing over our own impatience. Secondly, checking our motives. Have you ever hit send on a message only to regret it later? God encourages us to pause and reflect on why we want what we want. Is it out of genuine need or just to keep up with the Joneses? Waiting helps us sift through our desires and align them with his will. Thirdly, avoiding pitfalls. Have you ever had a detour save you from a major traffic jam? Similarly, God intervenes when we're about to veer off course, placing roadblocks to steer us away from harm. And fourthly, there are transformative delays. Think of God's timing like a master chef's slow-cooked dish. It takes time, but the flavor is unparalleled. His delays aren't punishment, they're opportunities for growth, shaping us into the very best versions of ourselves. Psalm 40 verses 1 to 3 declares, "I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him." When we're faced with delays, we are presented with three modern choices. Firstly, hacking the system. Have you ever been tempted to cheat on a test to get ahead? Manipulating situations to suit our desires might seem clever, but it only leads to trouble down the line. Or we can ghost the process. Have you ever swiped left on a potential connection because they didn't respond fast enough? Giving up on prayer when we don't get instant results is like throwing away a masterpiece halfway through. And trusting the process. Have you ever binge-watched a show, eagerly waiting for the next episode? You see, similarly, we can trust that God's got it under control and His timing is always worth the wait. Lamentations 3:25 and 26 records, "The Lord is good to those who hope in Him, to the one who seeks Him. It is good to wait quietly for the salvation of the Lord." So what does it take to wait on God in the age of instant everything? I would say, firstly, trust. Just like we trust our GPS to get us to our destination, we must trust God's guidance, even when His route seems to take longer or seems unfamiliar. We must have humility. Have you ever had to admit that you were wrong in a heated online debate? Waiting on God requires humility, acknowledging that His ways are better than ours. And also patience. In a world of 60 minutes delivery, waiting feels like a foreign concept. But just as good things come to those who wait in line, God's best comes to those who wait on Him. And yes, we also need courage. Have you ever resisted the urge to cave to peer pressure? Waiting on God means staying true to His path, even when others push us to take shortcuts. And if we ignore God's timing and forge ahead on our own, well, picture this. Think about being off the grid. Have you ever gone rogue and ended up in a dead-end alley? Ignoring God's guidance is just like that. It leads us off the grid, away from His intended path. It can also be in delaying blessings. Have you ever missed out on a flash sale because you hesitated? Ignoring God's timing delays the blessings He has in store for us. And of course, we add drama to the situation. Have you ever stirred up drama by rushing into a situation unprepared? Ignoring God's timing adds unnecessary chaos and pain to our lives as well as others. And of course, there's the lost signal. Have you ever wandered into a cellular dead zone and lost your signal? Ignoring God will leave us feeling disconnected and confused about our purpose. And yes, there's the financial crunch. Ever splurged on something you couldn't afford? Ignoring God's timing can lead to financial difficulties and poor decision-making. But when we wait on God, believing His way is best, we unlock a treasure trove of promises. One of them I call divine discounts. Just like scoring a sweet deal, God shows His goodness to those who patiently wait on Him. There's another one I call instant answer. Ever had a message deliver exactly when you needed it? God hears our prayers and answers them in His perfect timing. And yes, there's another, faith rewards. Just like earning loyalty points, our faith is rewarded when we obey God's timing and see His promises fulfilled. And there's troubleshooting assistance. Ever had tech support save the day? God helps us overcome our struggles when we walk in His will. And peaceful connection. Ever felt a wave of calm after a chaotic day? God's peace surpasses understanding when we trust in His timing. In Philippians 4:4-7, rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again, rejoice. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. And so, my friends, as we navigate the fast-paced world around us, let's take a moment to reflect. Can you recall a time when waiting on God yielded unexpected blessings or growth? Think back to a time when impatience led to less than desirable outcomes. What did you learn from that experience? What steps can you take today to lean into God's timing and trust His plan for your life? God bless you as you embrace God's timely providence.